Hello there, everybody, and welcome to a bit of a special episode here. It's a bit of a first on the channel for me. I'm doing a spoiler talk about the new movie, Scream 7. I've been watching all the Scream movies this week. I was really anticipating this one, and I know they've got these guys on the channel here as well who are really looking forward to it. So I thought it was fitting to come on here and do a spoiler talk. Now, when I say a spoiler talk, I mean, I'm not just going to dive headfirst into the reveal and everything. We're going to touch on the Scream franchise as a whole and, you know, how big of Scream fans we are. Then we'll go like kind of step by step throughout the movie, talking about all the big points, really. And we'll get onto the reveals and everything like that, who Ghostface is. So just a heads up there, if you have clicked this video and haven't realised that it's a spoiler talk, it's exactly that. We're going to be, you know, revealing all the plot points and everything like that. But before I get into it, I just want to say thanks to these guys for coming on. So, Paul, good to have you on again. You've been on the channel a few times, mate. How are we?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Always good to come on your channel, man. Talk horror films. Looking forward to talking some Scream. I don't think we've really done any videos on Scream or anything like that. And like you said, I'm a big fan of the franchise. So, and I've literally only just seen this film a couple of hours ago, so it's fresh in my head. Excited to talk about it.
Yeah. We did do the Alien franchise, didn't we? I've just realised there, I said I've never really done a spoiler talk, but we did do the Alien franchise, didn't we, a couple of years ago? So that was great. So it's good to have you on again, mate. So Tony and Danielle from Movies and Us are also here. Now I'm going to leave Tony and Danielle's channel link down below. Paul, don't really do YouTube no more, do you, mate? So no, okay. So what I'll do, I'll leave Tony and Danielle's channel link down below. But how are you two guys? You all right?
Good, thanks.
Good, thanks. Yeah, all good.
Yeah. Do you want to just say quickly about your channel, like what you do on there, so people can click the link and subscribe?
Yeah, just pretty much like yours, mate. We're we do a lot of horror.
Movies and
just
us.
movies, yeah. General just movies and us. It's the names in it. We do horror.
We vlog a little bit, don't we?
Do a bit of vlogging here and there. It's a bit all over the show, but it's what we like doing.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the channel anyway. I always try and tune in for all your videos, so really great to have you on, mate. I know I think we've done a live stream way back when, haven't we, like 3 or 4 years ago, so it's good to have you on again anyway. Yeah. All right, then, so I'll just start with you, Paul. How big of a Scream fan are you, and what made you get into Scream? Was you there for the original or whatever?
Yeah, so literally been there since day one. Obviously, when the first film come out, I was, 95, 96? So I would have been like, I don't know, 10 or 11 years old. So I couldn't go to the cinema to watch it. But I've got, as much as I sometimes can't remember stuff I did last week, I've got a absolute distinct memory of watching the first Scream the first time. I remember my mum and dad renting it out back in the day on VHS from Blockbuster, and I got the whole, you need to go to bed, it's too scary for you to watch this. But it was around the time when I was really starting to absorb horror. You know, I'd seen like Evil Dead and stuff, and I was just at that age where I just wanted to watch anything that was horror. So I was like, yeah, you ain't stopping me from watching this. So I did what young people used to do, was like sneak down in the morning before anyone was woke up, get in front of the fire, put the video in, watch it dead quiet in front of the TV, and I just fell in love with the film. It's one of the first horror movies that I watched as a kid that didn't necessarily scare me. I was never scared by Scream. I was more into the sort of whodunit side of it. Yes, it was gory. Yes, it has jumpy parts, but there was nothing in it where I was like, this is too much for me. I was so enthralled in like the trying to figure out who the killers are and all that. That it just hit me at the right age. That first Scream movie just absolute cemented itself in me, in pop culture, and I was the right age for it. So yeah, I've been a fan of the franchise since day one, if you will.
Yeah. Oh, good stuff, mate. Good stuff. And Tony, Danielle, you've been fans of this franchise from the start, or?
Yeah.
You go first.
Very much like Paul. I'm a bit older than Paul. And I remember purchasing it in Woolies in the bargain basket when it was out on VHS. And I wasn't a super big horror fan until Scream, and it hit me at the right age. That kind of ignited my love for horror. at that time there was like Scream, Urban Legend, I Know What You Did Last Summer, those kind of films. So I've been a massive Scream fan since.
Well, you got the bargain, went in a woolly bargain bucket when
Yeah,
you were 12.
no, not when I was 12, I was a bit
Oh,
older.
I just want to say.
No, when I was older, because I didn't. I was too young to watch it when it came out, and but I watched it when I was a bit older. I think I was about 18 when I first watched it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember, like, it was 96 it come out, so I was around 14, 15. I remember being in school. I was only saying to you the other day when I do remember vividly, because people were like in school all just talking, oh, I've seen it, you know, kids probably blagging like, but they were going on about Scream, and you'd see it in the newspaper advertised, and I was like, I can't wait to see this, because I'd already seen like Freddy and Chucky and stuff like that. So I don't think I'd seen it until they come out on video. And I can't really remember when I first watched it. It might have been around that year I watched it when it came on video. So usually, like, my mum and dad would go. Did you ever have like a video van come round?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
it was off the video van or something. And what Paul was saying before, I did the same stuff as you, Paul. My mum and dad would be like, you know, the videos left downstairs from the night before, and out to town and watch it. I remember doing that with A Nightmare on Elm Street too. But I probably did that with Scream. I just can't remember the first time I watched it, but I was definitely at school when I watched it. But yeah, that's how I got into the Scream franchise.
Because you found the videos, didn't you, when we first got together?
Yeah. It was in your house, wasn't it?
Mm.
Your VHS.
So wasn't that VHS? That was just fully white cover, was it?
It was, yeah.
Love that cover, mate.
Yeah.
Because
I think, funny enough, I think I've got mine from Woolies and Old Swan as well. I'm not joking.
Yeah.
I used to buy all my videos there. But yeah,
Rest in peace, Woolies.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think I was like 8 years old when this come out, and my mum was only really just letting me come round to horror. I was kind of. Some people start watching the horror when they're 4 or 5, don't they? But my mum was a bit protective, and my dad was always happy to let me watch horror. But in the end, she got me the video when it come out. It might have been 97 when it come out, and I watched that tape religiously when I was a kid. So, yeah, it's one of my most rewatched horror films from when I was a kid, to be honest. Just quickly, Dan, it's interesting. Would you say this film is the one that actually got you into horror?
Yeah, it was, because I was very young. I was having nightmares, so I went downstairs and was frightened of, obviously I couldn't sleep, and they had American Werewolf in London on the TV, which gave my nightmares even more nightmares. So I wasn't a huge horror fan up until Scream. I was more into like dramas and the old like Cape Fear, Scorsese kind of style movies. This was the one that really stuck in my mind, especially the opening scene with Casey, played by Drew Barrymore. It just kind of like really sliced and diced me. I loved it.
When we first met, like you always said, Scream's your favourite film, weren't it?
Yeah.
You loved it.
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons my mum was a bit like wary of is that opening scene. To be honest, it's quite brutal, isn't it? I remember her saying, "Oh no, I don't like the way that film starts." She was a bit wary of me watching it, but as a whole, this franchise, like I think it's one of the strongest, if not the strongest, in horror. Even with this new 7th edition, I think it's still consistently going well. I know a lot of people aren't liking this new film, but even the worst movie for me, which is Scream 3, I still think it's a good film. So, Paul, what about you, mate? Do you think there's any bad movies in here? Would you say it's one of the strongest? And just while you're on the subject, what would you say a couple of your favourite ones are?
Yeah, pretty much in the same boat with you, mate. I think it's one of the best, if not the most consistently best horror franchise there ever has been. I don't think there's a bad movie in the franchise. Even, the lowest in the ranking of when you're ranking them, it's still a good film. There's plenty of horror franchises out there that are well known, like the Friday the 13th, the Freddy's, where I generally think there's movies in that franchise that are damn right. Some are unwatchable, some are terrible, but I generally think Scream, I could literally watch 1 to 7 and enjoy every single one. Obviously, ones are better than others, but it's such a consistent franchise for me. And that's a testament to just the concept and the writing. You know, like I said, like it's just consistently good. There's no bad films. It just goes from great to good, in my opinion.
Yeah. There's no Freddy's dead or Jason takes Manhattan.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah. So Danielle, Tony kind of feel the same. Did you? I know you've watched them all this week. I don't know if you did, Paul. Did you watch them all like you usually do?
No, I didn't get round to it. I wish I did, though. I wish I did. We watched the first one on I think it was Friday or Thursday night, just because I knew in the back of my head of like, I feel like that's the one I need to sort of revisit before this one, just little things I'd heard and stuff like that. And so we rewatched the first one, but I think we might have rewatched 5 and 6 when they announced Screen 7 or when the first trailer come out. But I've seen them that many times, so I know them inside out.
Yeah. So Tony, Danielle, I know you've been watching them this week, haven't you? The past week, I've seen all your little scores on Letterboxd and on your story and everything, and you've even been surprised by how much you've liked a couple of them, Tony, more than last time, I believe. So, what do you agree with Paul that this franchise is consistent and there's no bad ones here? And what would you say some of your standout ones were watching it this time around?
Yeah, so totally agree with him. We were talking about that. I was even saying that a couple of years ago when Scream 6 come out. I said exactly the same. I said this franchise is so consistent, like, because they're all good.
Yeah, because we spoke about, we've watched 1 to 6, and then we watched number 7 recently. But even with the newer ones with Melissa, I'm gonna say her name wrong, Barrera.
Barrera, is it? Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, you got it right.
At first, I didn't like the kind of psychic, kind of PTSD scenes with her seeing her dad's Billy in it, but then that links into like Sydney Prescott when she was having her flashback scenes of seeing her mum when her mum was dead and coming into the window. So when we were watching it through, we were noticing little things that link each of the stories together, even with Elm Grove, Elm Street, and the little street names. And on the most recent one, because Sydney Prescott wasn't in Scream 6, they really did reference back in Scream 7 how she wasn't there. She should have come to New York, and she was really sorry. And like they've got the twins in in Scream 7, linking that to Scream 6, and I just think it's just
like
so
consistent. Linking it in.
Yeah, it's just so consistent, and it always goes back to the original, and you can see it all link all the way back through. So yeah, I do think it is one of the most consistent franchises there is.
Horror franchise, I think it is the most consistent because
it doesn't cut anything out. As we said, try not to go on to other horror franchise, but with like Halloween,
there's different timelines. It's all over the show.
But this one doesn't. This one links in New York into this timeline, and it is consistent. Yeah. Sorry, I'm getting a bit passionate.
That's what I want you to honor you for, because I know you're a big fan, and that's what we want, isn't it? There's some good points there, Dan. I didn't even think of that, to be honest, from Scream 3 and the Melissa Barrera thing. You know, Sydney seeing her mum. Yeah, it's kind of similar there, isn't it? But yeah, you know, I'm just glad we haven't gone to Ghostface in space or anything like that. So they're all well. Maybe Scream 8, who knows? So, sorry if you can hear a bit of screaming in the background. My lad just,
it's a scream, baby.
So basically, we'll just go on to Scream 7 now anyway, because it is the newest entry, and that's the main topic of the video. So I was a little bit nervous going into this one, to be honest. I was thinking this seems a little bit desperate here because Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega left the project, fired, whatever you want to call it. And there was a lot of controversy around it. And it felt to me like they were desperately trying to pull the fans back by getting Sydney back and saying, yeah, we're going to get Stu back and all these other Ghostface killers. And I was just like, oh, this seems like they are really, really trying to make amends here. But it turned out well, I think, and it was better than I actually thought it was going to be. So I was intrigued, but also excited at the same time. So I don't know if you guys think that. I mean, what were your thoughts going into this one, Paul?
Yeah, pretty much the same, man. I was nervous about it. Obviously, the controversy with Melissa Barrera and Jenny Ortega and all that sort of played into it, because I felt like they had something with them characters, and then just to cut them out and then try and carry it on, it did feel a bit. And then, like you said, and Neve Campbell saying, you know, they weren't paying her enough, so they backed a load of money onto her garden to bring her back. I don't think radio silence played a part in this one. So just hearing all these things, I was like, oh, I genuinely think this film is going to be a dud. And then when the reviews started coming out, I was like, oh, shit. I was like, this is going to be the first dud of the Scream franchise. But I enjoyed it. I'm happy to say that I had fun with it. But yeah, I did go into it a little bit nervous. But you know, I've seen reviews and people saying online, people who I sort of respect as well in sort of the movie sphere, saying this is one of the worst films ever made. I've actually seen someone say that, one of the worst films ever made. I'm like, wow, I don't understand where it's like so like anti, just dead clickbaity sort of responses to this film, saying like it's terrible and it's one of the worst films ever made, 1 star. I'm like, man, you need to go and watch some more films if you think this is one of the worst films ever made.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of reviews from YouTubers I watch all the time, and I know it's the job to pick it apart and everything, but I was watching like some of them going, I just disagree with a lot of things you're saying here, but that's all. It's all about opinions. People can give whatever score they want, whatever. But yeah, I thought it was a solid entry, to be honest. But Tony, Dan, did any of that play into your mind going into this one, or did you just kind of put it in the background? Or was you nervous, or was you just excited like most Scream fans were? Or was you a bit like me and Paul?
No, I was excited. I was like, come on, Sydney's back. Let's bring it on.
Personally, we were excited to see Sydney back, because personally, I weren't that fussed on the other two. You know, the two sisters, Carpenter sisters. I was like, So when Sydney and that coming back, I was up for that. But I mean, like you were more. I don't know. You were more up for it as well, weren't you?
And plus, I don't know the girl's name. She plays Tatum Evans, Sidney Prescott's daughter. Well, I've just recently kind of binge watched Yellowstone, 1883, 1923, the whole kind of Yellowstone series.
She's in it, yeah.
And she's the main character in 1883, the young daughter. Dutton, Liza Dutton, Elsie
Isabel
Dutton,
name, isn't it?
fantastic in 1883. So when I saw that she was on board on Scream 7, I thought this was going to be great. And I was pleasantly surprised.
Well, that leads on to my next point. This is where I wanted to start about the movie. Actually, I was going to start with the opening, but no, I'll start with Sydney and her daughter, then I'll get to the opening. So I think this was very warranted to have Sydney coming back. Like, despite my fears, it felt warranted when I watched the movie, because she was definitely the main focus here. I felt like this is the most screen time she's probably had since Scream 2, maybe. Because she wasn't in 3 all that much. I think she only got like 20 minutes of screen time there. Scream 4 felt like it was more towards Jill and everything like that. 5, she was hardly in it. 6, she wasn't in it. So since 2, I just felt like this was the most we've seen of Sydney, and it felt like he put it up on that pedestal there to say, yeah, the Queen's back, basically. But the stakes were raised because her daughter was in this, and it just felt like Sydney's movie to me personally. So in the end, I was happy with the direction they went with Sydney. But I've got to say, her daughter was a great addition. Going forward, I was very happy to see her as the main character. I didn't ever think that she was going to be Ghostface, kind of like Jill was in Scream 4. That never entered my mind. But going forward, I would really like to see her. I thought she was kind of one of them characters who was trying to break out a little bit, but she's kind of covered by the whole Sydney sort of fame, and she can't quite reach her full potential of being her own person. like in this, in when she's in the theater thing, the teacher's going, "You need to like be more yourself" and everything like that. So I felt like she kind of broke out towards the end a little bit, the way she's taking Ghostface down and everything. But don't know what you guys thought. What did you think of her as a character and the little dynamic between her and Sydney? Because it's kind of a simple one where you've got mother and daughter that ends with each other. We've seen that in so many films, but I thought it comes together nicely at the end, and it was a good central focus to have. Personally, I thought. What about you, Paul?
I thought Neve Campbell and the girl who played her daughter carried the film. If I'm going to be brutally honest, I thought Neve Campbell absolutely slipped right back into that role, even better than she did in Scream. In Scream 4, I feel like she didn't quite capture the character. Do you know when sometimes when actors go away for a bit and come back to try and reprise the role as the character, and sometimes you don't feel like they quite get there? I felt that with Neve Campbell in Scream 4. In this, it felt like the same character from the first film. Granted, we'd only just rewatched the first films, but I've seen it a million times. But going from that the other day to this, like 30 years later or however long it is, and she's now a mom, she's a protective mom. I thought the daughter was a strong character as well in the film, right from the get-go. I sometimes when they bring in like I forget her name in the Halloween trilogy, the newer one.
Alison, is it?
Alison, yeah. I feel like in that trilogy she was a bit. I never quite warmed to that character, but I warmed to Sydney's daughter in this film like straight away, right off the bat. When she's wearing a coat from Scream 2 and all that. I was like, yeah, I'm into this. I thought they were both great. I generally think they both carried the movie.
Yeah. So live up to expectations for you, Dan, because you were excited to see Sydney again.
Yeah, no, I agree. Exactly like similar to what Paul's just said. It's that kind of mother-daughter dynamic. I've got I said it on our little snippet. My daughter's a couple of years younger than Nathan, and it's that you don't want to cross the line as a mum, but at the same time, you can see it between them as the mother and daughter, and it was believable. I thought they were fantastic together. They had great chemistry. Just for me though, as a mum watching the movie, I found some scenes really difficult and terrifying to watch, especially because a lot of the scenes that we saw in the trailer, they kind of showed up. It didn't tell too much. But that scene where the daughter's in the coffee shop and the mum can't move because of the internet outage, that really got me, because it's like you want to go and protect your child, but you can't.
Make it.
Yeah, so there was elements, the mother and daughter, that I kind of resonated with, and it was believable. There wasn't anything in that movie that I thought, oh well, that's not how it should be. I thought it was a good solid story, and it linked, it was a great film to bring Sydney back with a daughter and tell their story and how some psychos can
because it's filling in them gaps in it, what she's been up to in life. She's got a husband, she's got a kid, so it's telling you the way
she's got three
kids.
But you know what I mean. It's giving you that picture that she's settled down, she's moved on, and then all this happens again.
And it's like that kind of repetition. It happened when Sydney was 17, and now it's all started again when her daughter hit 17.
It's the crazed fan, isn't it? Like you said, but she can't get away from it because it just keeps happening. Just nut job fans.
I think it was like Sydney felt like she was one of them people in this one who's just kind of accepted that this is going to happen to her every few years. She's a little bit more laid back in her personality, I thought. Just a little bit, but it sucks that it's going to happen to her, but she kind of knows it's coming, and that's why she's like that with her daughter. But you can sort of see both sides. You can see why she's so protective, especially after watching all these films, but you can see why her daughter kind of wants to be herself as well, and she's kind of holding her back a little bit there. That basically my thoughts on it. But go on, what was you going to say, Dan?
I'm just going to say, there was, during this, because they've just released that they're going to be doing a Scream 8. In this one, I did feel like Sydney was, like Paul said before, Sydney was very, like, when she was originally in Scream, the original one. She's quite reserved. She holds back, and she doesn't want to let her daughter in. And you could see this where she's frightened of revealing too much about her past to her daughter. So I'm hoping maybe Scream 8, she, you know, gets that spark back, that feistiness back that we saw in Scream 2, you know, where she, you know, reveals, you know, she reveals more about the character, shows more depth to her.
Yeah, I did actually say in my review that what I've just said then, she felt like more laid back and accepting that this is going to happen, but there was a little hill that she had to get over, that she can't quite talk about the past to her daughter, and that's like the one thing holding her back a little bit there. That's it, like she hasn't fully sort of accepted 100% that this thing might just be a thing in her life, but she's almost there. But it's that one little thing holding her back with the daughter, not telling her everything. She's just like, oh, go and watch the movie or read my book. You know, she doesn't want to talk to her about it. So it felt like a little bit of an arc that she had to get to climb over that hill, I think.
Yeah.
So I won't come to Paul first every time. I'll try and mix it up a little bit on each point so we can all get a, you know, you're not last every time, Tony, you know what I mean? So yeah, I just want to talk about the opening. Basically, I thought this opening was solid. I'll give you my full thoughts on it in a minute. But Tony, I know Scream's got, nearly every Scream film for me has got a great opening. What did you think of this one, mate?
I thought it was one of the best. It gave me I love, first off, I love the animatronic bit, the Ghostface animatronic, because at first I thought, oh, that's just gonna jump out and stab them, you know what I mean? I thought it's too obvious. And then when it was an animatronic, I was like, oh, that's quite clever, that. And then he took the hat off, the mask off, and he showed the sensor on it, and I was like, yeah, I nudged you a bit, man, so it's good, that. And then the boyfriend, he dressed up as Ghostface. Now, can you remember the scene where she's got her back to the what was it? A closet?
She's in the bedroom.
The bedroom.
It's the doorway.
And you just see Ghostface coming out and back in. It reminded me of Maya's Halloween.
Yeah.
Again,
100%.
you know, when Laurie Strode, and that's like such a great shot from Halloween. It's always one of my favourites. And when he did that, I really liked that touch because it was shot so well. You know what I mean? But so I enjoyed that. But then the whole when the boyfriend gets stabbed, didn't he stab it right through his temple?
Oh yeah, I was sat there. Excuse me, I was sat there. My mouth was wide open, like
and his eye was going up, and I was like,
and I was like waiting for the treat.
Yeah, and I was like, that's brutal.
Yeah.
But when he chases her up the stairs and she's hanging off the chandelier, and you know she falls down on the knife, and like the whole fire, and give me Halloween Kills vibes, and I was like, pretty much, I'm if it's anything like, you know, I do like Halloween Kills and stuff. So if you like Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, it gives you that vibe, I think, you know, with the fire and stuff, and the way Ghostface come out, like, so I was like,
on fire.
It set it on fire. It was one of the. It was good, but it was probably one of the more brutal ones, to be fair. You know, with setting it on fire and stabbing him in the temple. You know, it was brutal. It was brutal, but it's up there for me, like, for the brutality of it.
Yeah, I fully agree with that Michael Myers thing, by the way. I said that in my review, mate. It's Halloween-esque, wasn't it? But it makes me feel like, why haven't they used that a bit more in the other Scream films? Because I don't remember too many times where you see Ghostface coming out the shadows, but he's got that white mask. He should do that more often, I think. But Kevin Williamson, this is only the second film he's made, and when it comes to the directing, like you're saying, with the mannequins and the shadow coming out the shadows, I thought he'd done a pretty good job, to be fair. And when you're saying about falling off the chandelier and Ghostface just turns to life, I just thought, Ghostface is a little bastard, isn't he? So, Dan, was you a fan of this opening?
Yes. We sat in the cinema and I was like, oh, I wonder what the opening's going to be like. And I didn't register it in my mind that what we saw in the trailer was going to be that opening. And I love the fact that, because they're doing this now, they're turning, you know, macabre houses into, you know, Airbnbs where you can go and stay. I believe they've done it with the Poltergeist house. And they've done it with this one as well. I believe that you can go and stay in the Marcus house. as an Airbnb. So I thought that was great that,
He
unsuspecting people like me and you turning up to do like a little vlog around the house. No, I thought it was great. And I really did like and it wasn't just in the opening scene, those little shots of Ghostface like kind of just flickering in the background. It did kind of give me that kind of like ghost vibe. You know, when you're watching a movie and you see like a ghost in the background and you just see him fade in and fade out.
Yeah.
I thought those kind of shots were really nice. And it's different, really different, because you think about all these horror icons and they've got their way of killing, and Ghostface is like slasher, he stabs you. But in this time round, apart from the number 6 where he used the shotgun, he's really evolved and he's adapting to different ways of killing people. It just shows how brutal he is. Still an idiot, can't run up the stairs and hits him in the head, he's down, he falls.
Yeah.
But no, I thought it was a great, solid opening.
Ghostface is clumsy, but
he's a clumsy dope, isn't he?
Yeah. What about you, Paul? Are you a fan of this opening?
I've just been nodding along, smiling for everything they're saying. Like you said, this franchise is known for having like solid, cold openings before it hits to the credits. This is no different. I was grinning ear to ear with this opening, even to the part where they rock up to the Maca house and you realise it's like that you can go to it and everything. And I leant over to Mrs. I went, "That's me." And when I meant that's us. We'd all do the same. We'd all be like taking pictures with this house and everything if we could go to see it in real life. So I thought that was really clever, because you see pictures of horror fans all over the world going to all these locations and stuff to take pictures, with the Myers house and whatnot. I'm echoing you with the Myers sort of homage with his face coming out. I was grinning. I was like, love that. That 100%. That's what it was. That was an absolute, nod to Michael Myers in that original Halloween. I was just grinning watching it. Some jumpy bits. There was some jumpy bits throughout the film, but there was a few in the opening as well. Brutal, that kill to the side of the head and his eye twisted inside out, and that, I was just like, "Oh, this is going to be awesome! This fair play." Loved it. Absolute cracking opening.
Yeah. Just what Danny was saying about the Airbnb is my number one bucket list thing to do is go and see that Texas Chainsaw Massacre house in Texas, because you can actually go in and like have a meal and everything, and there's all like props and everything. So I'm dying to do that. But like you said, Paul, that's exactly what I was going to say. That guy in the opening, that was he was like my vessel going into this opening, because I was like, I'm seeing what he's seeing here, just like so excited to see all this nostalgia and everything, like where the tellies fell on Stu's head and the little cutout, where the bodies were lying and everything, the little draw markings, and it plays on what the movie is actually going for, and that's what makes it a more clever opening. This movie plays on your nostalgia because of Mindy's little speech later on, where she's saying like, "Oh, people want nostalgia now," and especially for people our age, I think this was like more relatable. Like, I'm not saying younger people can't enjoy it, but the whole theme it's going for, I felt, is like really hitting the spot for us people who are our age, really. So, really
even right after the opening, and it pretty much shot for shot does sort of the original film again, with the boyfriend coming through the window and all that, and plays the same song when they get down on the bed and that. And I was like, "Oh, here we go."
But this time he's watching Stab, not Exorcist 3.
Yeah, he did. He done that, didn't he? So basically, I was going to start with the opening and then go on to Sydney and Tatum, but I've touched on Sydney and Tatum. So the next thing I want to mention, now, Paul, I know you told me you're a little bit mixed on this. Don't know how you two fully felt about it, Tony, Danielle, but I'm going to talk about the AI thing when Stu first comes on that screen. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I was in the cinema just, oh my God, this is happening. Stu's back. And the way he's just like threatening her and saying, "I'm outside the school. And I always had a thing for you, Sid." I was like, oh my God, it is playing on me nostalgia even more now. Because I was just like, that was one of my favorite scenes in the entire film. And whether you like what to do with the AI or not, it was just great to see Stu back. I absolutely loved that. So I'll come to you first, Danielle. What was your thoughts on the whole Stu coming back angle and the AI thing?
I couldn't believe it. I was like, is this AI? Oh God. And then I was like Mindy thinking, is it Stu? Is Stu back? Could Stu be back? And then I was thinking, well, actually in Screen 5 or 6, there was a question mark on the board. Was Stu really dead? Was he not? We didn't know.
Mhm.
Even though they were saying he was dead. So I literally went into Cluedo mode. Who is this? Is it Stu? But I just loved seeing him back. He had like the scars on his face.
Mhm.
And he was just hilarious. I was laughing, I was giggling in the cinema with just the way he's like, I'm gonna get you, Sydney.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I loved it. I just thought it was great that even though he wasn't a killer, it was just great to see him back with his own, Stu mannerisms and his little, evil laugh and giggles and the stuff he says. I just thought it was fantastic. And I did like the AI. I thought it's modern times, it's what everybody's up to now. Don't believe everything you see or hear. But it kind of helps the story along because, Sydney was thinking, oh, it is Stu, and then she did the interview with Gail, so it did help, move the story along. But yeah, I loved it. I did. You missed that little bit though.
I went to the toilet for a week.
Ah,
I never go
Wait.
for a week, really, do I? And I was baking. And then I come back and I said, did I miss anything? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, what the hell? So I've got to wait now until it comes on Blu-ray to watch it.
when you did your review and you said you missed something, I was like, oh, it's not the Stu bit, was it? And it is. If it makes you feel any better, I went to see Spider-Man No Way Home, is it? The latest one. And when Tobey Maguire, no, not Tobey Maguire, the other guy, what's his name?
Andrew Garfield.
Yeah. And when he come back, I was in the toilet, so.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
And
and my wife,
yeah.
my wife said, "You've just missed it there. This whole cinema erupted," and I was like,
It's like end game.
yeah. So Tony, what did what was I? What was you? Oh, I can't really go to you about this shooting guy, but I will anyway. When you seen him in the later scenes and everything, when you seen him later on, was you happy to see him? And what did you think of the AI angle?
Yeah, I enjoyed that. I like the way he put the scars on his face and stuff. And I mean, I like Matthew Lillard as an actor anyway. I think he's funny, like in some of the roles he does. And
in the first one, he was.
I loved him in the first. It always makes me, because I haven't seen Scream 1 for a few years, so at the end, he just I laugh out loud. Like,
dying, man.
I think I'm dying, man.
Hit me with the phone, Dick.
Call the police.
Yeah, just make me laugh. So I was going to miss that bit, but I obviously I seen the rest of it with him in, and then I didn't realise it. I don't know if I'm just a dope, but I was just thinking that can't be AI. It's got to be him. It looks dead real. Just supposed to be like that, innit?
That's what I liked about it, Tony. I actually was guessing till the end. Is he black?
Yeah,
surely he can't be, but there was something in the back of my mind just saying, is it actually him? Because the movie throws you off, doesn't it? All the way through, saying like it could actually be him. So
Ghost to show it's a good film.
So what, sorry?
Sorry, mate. I was just saying that goes to show it was a good film if it was doing that to the audience.
What about you, Paul? Did you always think this was going to be AI, or did you think we might be alive? And what did you think?
Right, so
you're not like us, are you? You're a bit mixed on it.
Yeah, this is where we're going to differ a little bit here. Right, so the idea of Stu coming back, I didn't have a problem with. I do to a degree because I feel like it's something fans have been clamouring for years and they've just sort of give it us eventually. Whereas I don't ever feel like it really needed to happen. I feel like it was done just because fans have been clamouring fans have been clamouring for it for so many years that they've gone, right, let's give them what they want. But like Tony and Danielle said, I like Matthew Lillard and I love the character of Stu from the first film. I feel like when he come into the film, when he just cropped up on Sydney's computer, it took me back a bit. I was like, whoa. It's like, And remember, I was saying earlier how it felt like Nev Campbell just completely slipped back into the role as Sidney Prescott. I feel like Matthew Lillard didn't quite capture that character again. I felt like he'd gone back, watched the film, his original film, and just tried to copy it again, doing the exact same lines and stuff like that. So I wasn't bothered that he was back. I just wish it was done a bit better. I had in my head, just from stuff they'd released in the marketing and stuff like that, and I wish they didn't I wish they could have kept that secret that he wasn't in it, because I feel like they kept it under wraps for a while, then it got leaked, and then they just started telling everyone, yeah, he's in it, he's back. I had in my head, and this might be the case where it just didn't go the way I wanted it to go. I thought he was going to be locked up in a psych ward, and Sydney was going to have to go to him, sort of like a Hannibal Lecter sort of character, and get in the mind of whoever the killer is, and for Stu to help her sort of get into the mind of a serial killer and stuff. I thought that is the direction the film was going to go, and it didn't go that way. So that sort of pissed me off a bit, because it proved that I was wrong. But in terms of the AI stuff as well, right? Again, I had no problem with that. Scream's very good at tapping into what's going on in the culture at the time each film comes out. And so to tap into deep fake and AI, of course, that's very prevalent at the moment in sort of social media space. Again, I just don't think they quite hit the nail on the head with this, because that isn't AI. That is Matthew Lillard as Stu on screen. They didn't try and sort of mask it or blur it where you're like, is that him? Isn't it him? That's Matthew Lillard. That's Stu. And you can tell every single scene he's in, it's like he never met the actors. They've just got him to record bits just to put into the film. So I've never really felt like he was in the film, if you like. I wish he would have been in the film at some point. So yeah, a bit mixed on it.
With characters and stuff.
Yeah, like I'm not even saying he had to be the killer or anything like that, but I would have liked to have seen him eventually in the film. But yes, so like I have no problem they brought him back. I love that character. He's probably, well, we'll get on to our favorite killers. Spoilers, he is going to be one of mine. But I was mixed on just how they brought him back, and I don't think they quite hit the AI sort of deep fake thing as well as I wanted them to.
Fair enough, mate. That's a good point. Good point. I actually think he did kind of jump back into the character myself personally, but I know what you're saying, mate, and that would have been an interesting way to go. I think if Sydney was going to see him like Hannibal Lecter or something like that. I think the AI towards the end felt very cheap, the way they just got all the different actors to come on that screen before the reveal happened. It was nice to see them, but afterwards you just go, is that needed? I'm not quite sure. Maybe they should have used them a little bit more as well, but they just used Stu for the whole film, didn't they? But then again, it might not work because they were trying to throw Sydney off, weren't they, seeing if Stu was actually alive. So yeah, maybe I'm contradicting myself a little bit there. But just after that, I think there's a great kill that happens here, and I just want to talk quickly about the kills in this movie. The one where Hannah is sort of swinging across the stage reminded me of Hostel 2, where that woman's got the blade and she's swinging across. I was just appreciating the gore a little bit more in this. What did you think of the kills in this one, Paul? Because I do think a lot of this franchise just has very simple stab kills. Some of them are even off screen at times, like in Scream 3 and everything. But like Tony and Danielle mentioned, the one in the original opening where the knife goes through his head. You got this. There's a couple of other ones as well there. The one in the bar. Was you happy with the kills or?
Yeah, I mean, like, I think Tony said it earlier. This is the Halloween kills of the Scream franchise. The kills were awesome. I feel like the Ghostface stuff and the kills elevated this film for me. That's my favorite part. You know, it's not my favorite Scream film, but they're the two central parts of the film where, along with Sidney Prescott, you know, Nev Campbell coming back, that sort of kept me going. I was gutted. What's her name in the film? What McKenna Grace's character?
Anna.
I was gutted they killed her off so quick, because I'm quite a fan of that young little actress. She's come a long way, you know, in the last couple of years. I loved her. Yeah, I loved her in the Ghostbusters film. She's cropped up in a few other things over the last couple of years. She was in that Haunted of Hill House, whatever it was called, on Netflix. a few years ago. So yeah, I was looking forward to when they cast her. I was like, oh, I feel like she's an actress that sort of could fit in nicely into like a teenage slasher film. So I was a bit gutted when they iced her off quite early on. But brutal kill. Yeah, the way she's swinging, he just holds the knife up. And I was just like, yes, come on. Yeah, some great kills in the film. I love the one where, even though spoilers, he doesn't die. The dad, Mark the copper. I love that kill. Going back to what Danielle was saying, where they were keeping like Ghostface like a ghost, and you see his mask in like the plastic, whatever you want to call it, because they were like decorating the house like the plastic, and it like blew onto his mask. I thought that was great.
The Velcro thing.
Yeah.
I forgot the name of it. Sorry, not Velcro. I forgot. Go on anyway.
Just sheets that hang from the ceiling. Yeah.
The big screen it's called. Big screen it's called.
Yeah.
Go on. Anyway.
But top kill for me, without a shadow of a doubt, was the on the beer pump. Oh my! I was laughing my head off when all the beer just starts pouring out of his mouth, and that was straight.
What is that white stuff coming out of his mouth? Is it beer or is it like is part of his skull?
Yeah, but again, straight out of Halloween, when he puts the kid on the railing and that, I was like, that I loved that. Yeah, I was fortunate enough to have a good audience with me. Sometimes when you go and watch these horror films, sometimes you have really disruptive audiences, especially in the horror genre. But I had a great audience with me, and everyone was lapping it all up, all the kills, all the jump scares and the stabs and everything. But that was the one that got the biggest pop of the film, that beer pump one.
Yeah. What about you, Tony? Danielle, are you a fan of the kills in this one? I know Paul's mainly touched on them all, but what do you think? You agree with him?
Yeah, definitely. The beer pump, we agree.
Yeah.
We were talking about the beer pump as soon as we left. The beer.
You'll never order a pint again. I'm looking at the beer pump the same.
Yeah, definitely the beer pump.
Yeah. So, just talking about like Ghostface anyway, because Paul's just mentioned he loved Ghostface in this. There was a scene in this film, and I was like, okay, something bad could happen here, where Ghostface has got a Tatum with the knife, like the hostage sort of situation in the house. And I was just like, there was part of me where I actually thought he could stab her to death here, even though it's Sydney's daughter. Like, it wouldn't have surprised me, because Ghostface is just absolute loose cannon, isn't he? What did you think of some of the tension building scenes in this movie, like with Ghostface and everything? Do you think it was any good stuff like that stood out to you? Like, because that was one moment that stood out to me.
I think going back to the opening scene as well, I don't really get on edge of your seat with films and that, but I felt I was a little bit nervy yesterday watching this. I was a bit like, because as you were saying, when he had Tatum up to with the knife up to her neck,
she was kind of coming out of the doorway very slowly.
You pretty much took the words out of my mouth, because I was going to say that before, Jordan. I was going to say that scene. I thought, I mean, I don't think I even mentioned this to you, but when I was thinking, he's just going to kill her. That's it. Do you know what I mean? So because I thought what Paul was saying before about Mackenzie Grace?
Yeah, Mackenzie Grace.
Because I agree with Paul. I thought, she's probably going to be like one of the final girls in this.
Yeah.
And then she didn't really get much of a part. She just got gutted. So then I was thinking, if that can happen to her,
it can happen
to her.
All bets are off.
Yeah. So, but the suspense in it was great. Honestly, I thought it was really good, especially when he's got Tatum in a coffee shop in her mum's office. That scene was great. Like, shoot through the door. This is how you use the gun. I was like, Jesus, I don't know if it's because I've got a daughter myself, like Danielle was saying before, and I was, putting myself in that situation. I was like, yeah, I thought it was great.
She was great, that young actress playing a daughter in that part. She looked scared and looked nervous. She absolutely, played that part at that point to an absolute T.
Yeah.
I found on that scene where Tatum is in that coffee tin, I nudged you, and I felt her acting in this movie was more believable than Melissa Barrera in Scream 5 and 6, because I felt she was quite wooden. She wasn't very she didn't show enough of emotion,
No.
even though she was protecting her sister. So the tension that was being built up between Sydney Prescott and her daughter Tatum, it's believable. There was tears, there was snot dribbling down her nose. You know,
Yeah.
you could see it in the voice. It was tension building.
I agree with that, because I just think the acting was better from her daughter than Melissa Barrera, in my opinion as well.
Makes me think though, Jordan. Why did Ghostface not slice her neck? I can't remember thinking back why he didn't, because he's a fiend, isn't he? He could have
Didn't Sydney or her husband shoot him or something when they seen an opportunity?
Doesn't a dad tell her to drop?
He put the knife like this, and he went like this, and then he went drop, and so we found an opportunity, didn't we?
Yeah.
And it was a kick.
Yeah.
Another kick took him down.
Yeah.
A little Ghostface moment I liked in this film, and it was sort of like a quick 2 or 3 second shot, like blink and you miss it shot, and it wasn't even anything really tense. It was just how it was directed and shot, and the music that played. It was after that coffee scene where Tatum had shot the Ghostface, he was on the floor, and then it was sort of the reveal that there were 2 killers, which that wasn't like, we've seen that before in Scream, but it was how the second killer walked into frame. He come into the door like slow motion, and like this music cue played, and it's like his footsteps like, and it's literally like a 4-second clip in the film. But I was like, oh, I don't know. There's just something about that one quick scene that I loved.
Yeah, it cut black, didn't it? Because they both kind of like sandwiched her, and it cut black. And I was waiting to see them like slice it up, but then obviously they take it back to the house. You know, take it back to the heart home where the heart is. Yeah. And that's how he gets back to the final house.
Yeah.
Yeah. So some good Ghostface scenes in this, some good kills as well. Now, one of my favourite things about this film, I've heard a few people say this is very formulaic. I don't agree with that, because, like I said, the AI angle where you don't know if Stu's still alive, that was throwing me off. But one thing that threw me off was when Gail Weathers entered the film and they just killed that Ghostface in the middle of the movie and unmasked him. And I was like, okay, where's this going now? I thought that was a really good direction to go in, and didn't feel like it was just standard Scream. They mixed it up a little bit there. So I don't know what you guys thought of that. I think his name was Carl Gibbs, I've wrote down here. Bit weird that he's only in one scene at the start of the film, but I don't know. What did you think? Did you think this was a formulaic film, or do you think it shook it up a bit by doing things like that? What about you, Paul?
I mean, Scream's got a winning formula, so if it's formulaic, then I'm happy. If it's doing what all the other films do, then I'm happy. I'm there to watch the kills. I'm there to watch the Ghostface do what he does, and I'm there to see the reveal at the end. That's why we go and watch these films. Let's be honest. So I don't think. Okay, yeah, it was probably formulaic, but we've not seen that before. I don't think, where the sort of who you think the killer is revealed halfway through the film. They sort of did it at the start of Scream 6, where it's like in the cold opening, but you knew he wasn't going to be the killer. There wasn't a point in this where I was like, oh, he might be the first killer, and then we find out later on there's another one. But one of the best entrances I've ever seen in a horror film from Gail Weathers, right there. Absolute audience lapped that up in the screening we were in. Absolutely loved it. And I didn't even know it was her. I did not clock on it was going to be her until she stepped out of that car. And in my head, I was just like, yeah, come on.
When you were saying about everyone screaming before, when they put the kid's head on the spike, that's when my audience all cheered when she come in. But yeah, Tony, Dan, what do you think? I just wanted to touch on this scene quickly. Did you appreciate this bit, or was you a bit like, oh, what's going on here?
I didn't. I liked it. Yeah, something different. Yeah, it's good to mix up. It's got to evolve, and it can't be the same all the time.
And if it works well for other movies, it's going to work well for this one, because it's received by the audience and the fans.
Yeah,
I did find that Gail Weathers wasn't in this as much, but I believe that this was Sydney's story. It was Sydney and Tatum, her daughter's story, which was very kind of Halloween-esque, wasn't it? With Laurie and her daughter and granddaughter. So it worked for that. So why not work for this?
The Gail bit with Gail. was a scene where, you know, when they were on the news station and they were talking, and then she walks off, doesn't she, Sydney?
Yeah.
And then she goes off, doesn't she? And takes a couple of pills.
She's got the shakes
She's
and
something
that
up
stuff.
with
I
her.
think she's ill.
She could be ill. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't know.
I
I
think
didn't even notice that.
Yeah, we just think
Yeah.
maybe maybe it might touch on the next one. She's ill. I don't know.
Because she said when she last got stabbed in Scream 6, it did some nerve damage. And again,
Right.
Dewey here got nerve damage with his little gammy hand and his little limp that miraculously disappeared in the.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really nice scene between Sydney and Gail when Gail's pushing her to talk about her past and that, and you know, Sydney says, "How would you like it if I would have brought up Dewey?" And she's like, "Do you ever think about Dewey?" And she says like 500 times a day or something like that. And you know, and I think that's why she says something about having nerve damage, but I think that's why she's taking the pills as well, because I think it's Sydney saying like, "Why are you so hard faced about all this? Why, you know what I mean?" But then it's Gail sort of saying, I'm just as, you know, damaged from all this trauma as you are.
Yeah. I must admit though, like Gail Weathers is my favorite character in this whole series. Spoilers for my favorite character, but do you think they're running out of things to do with it a little bit? Just a little bit there. I mean, it was nice to have these scenes and everything, but what else can we go with it? Like, she's a reporter, she's trying to get the story, she's just being horrible to people to get the story, and then by the end of the film, she turns this arc on where she's like, "Oh no, she's really a great person." I don't know.
They're now friends. They embrace, don't they, and they hug at the end.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
I think, like just Danielle said, this was definitely Neve Campbell's, you know, Sidney Prescott and her daughter's film. So I don't feel like they really had much for her to do in it. And just quickly going off that, I don't want to go on a tangent, but it felt the same with the two twins from 5 and 6. They were sidelined in this film. They really didn't bring anything to it. They just sort of brought them in just to sort of have that connective tissue from the last two films. But I felt like they would have had a bigger part in this had Melissa Barrera and Jenny Ortega come back. And I feel like their half of what they were in the film for was just cut.
Yeah.
I mean, I did like Mindy's little thing because she always has to do the speech, but maybe it could have just cut them out and it wouldn't have mattered. But it was still nice to have them there, like Danielle said at the start of the video, and like you've just said, it gives the connective tissue, doesn't it? So look, we'll just get on to like the end and now the reveal and everything, because we're going on to nearly an hour here. So personally, I guessed one of the killers here about 10 minutes into the movie. I knew it was going to be that woman next door, but I also thought it was going to be her son, and I was a bit surprised to see him killed. But when that woman, I forgot her name, man, she's played by Anna Camp.
Is it Karen in the film? Isn't it? Is it Karen? Yeah, I can't. I watch
Paul, you probably know best because you've seen it today.
Is it Carol or Karen? Maybe.
I thought
I don't know
why I thought it was Julie. Something like that.
It probably
I
is.
But
Julie, yeah.
When she
one of them.
When she went in that film for like the last half an hour, I was like, it's definitely gonna be her. It's like the movies forgot about her. It's 100% her. I didn't guess it was gonna be the other guy because it did feel a little bit cheap because he was in one scene in the entire film. So I was a bit unhappy when they unmasked him, to be honest. But
oh yeah, I was right. I said Julie, but it was Jessica.
Jessica. That's it, Jessica. Yeah, no, you've said it. Yeah, so I was a little bit disappointed with this reveal. But the more I thought about it the next day, I think a lot of people said it's terrible writing and everything, but I think it's all right, the writing actually, because the whole AI angle is like, oh yeah, that's John Doe, and there's your biggest hint that he's going to be the killer because he goes, that's John Doe, but he's really just saying that because, you know, he's trying to go along with the AI thing to throw Sydney off and everything. So I think I appreciated it more by sitting on it after a day and thinking about it, but it was still one of the weakest reveals for me. I don't know what you guys thought of it. Do you want to go first, Tony?
I like you said before, where I nudged and said to Danielle, it's there in the sun. I mean, was that like first 15 minutes or something?
Yeah, it's that,
And
because he's obsessed with the crime podcast, isn't he? And
yeah.
stuff
And I
like
was like, I reckon it's. But so we got the mum right, but for some reason I thought it was going to be Stu at the end. I thought it's going to be Stu. It's not going to be AI.
So like we said before, the movie done well to throw you off a little bit, didn't it?
So I genuinely thought. So I did not see it being that warden, that fella from the psychiatric ward, not psychiatric ward. So it threw me off. I didn't mind it. You know what I mean? It didn't bother me. The reveal. It threw me off. It done its job. I was happy. Yeah, I was all right.
Yeah.
What about you?
Well, you thought it was Jessica and her son, but when her son died, I was like, well, it can't be Jessica because, you know, the son, you know, I did not think a mother would kill her own child.
I know, it was horrible, isn't she?
But when that Marco guy came in, he was like the nurse, kind of like, I don't know what the word is, like a carer in that kind of psych ward. When he flickered
like
in,
the director, wasn't he? Was he like the director of it or something?
something like that, yeah. But when he flickered in, I thought, oh, he's a random character, and it's always like there's a random outside character that pops in. It's always them. He's got the link with Stu. Maybe it's him and Stu, because I thought maybe Stu is alive and it's not AI. So I didn't know. I didn't think it was Jessica. I thought I knew it was him, but then it completely. Yeah, I was flabbergasted.
Yeah.
What about you, Paul? Was you happy with the reveal? And maybe like what do you think of the motives as well? Because a lot of people don't like the motive here.
I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. I was just deflated. I was just as deflated as I was with the Scream 6 reveal. I still don't like that. Even though I enjoy Scream 6, I think the reveal derails that film, and I think it done the same here. It was funny whilst we were watching the film. Every time someone come on screen who we thought the killer, you know, we'd whisper each other, murderer. We got like that as we were doing it all the way through the film. I thought it was going to be the creepy podcast dude just because he is in the Boys spin-off Gen V, sorry, and he plays a nutcase in that. And I thought, well, that's why they've hired him for this. So he's like the nutcase character. But I'm presuming that was just a throw off. Which they are good at doing in the Scream films, of putting people in that you think it was going to be. Right. This is the first time in any Scream film I have guessed who the killer is. And I'm not saying that to be like, I guessed who the killer was and all that, because I've never done it before. But you see people like that, I knew who it was fucking 2 minutes into it and all that. Like, I legit, no word of a lie. If she, my missus was going to me, murderer. I looked at her and I went, he's the killer. And do you want to know what triggered it to maybe think he's the killer? I thought back to Dr. fucking Sardine Tin, whatever his name was, from Halloween 2018. I thought he is going to be that sort of same character where he wants to get into the mind of Stu Macker and the serial killers and all that. And I remember someone, maybe it was sort of in the back of my head, because I read a review on this film saying it plays very much sort of in tune to Halloween 2018. And just because of that one sentence I read in the review, that's what made me think that. So that might have been like a unintentional spoiler from whoever reviewed that film. I can't remember who it was. But as soon as he come on screen and he started talking, I instantly went, he's going to be at least one of the killers. But the fact that he is only in that one scene didn't really do much for me when the reveal happened. I was like, oh, it's that dude who was in that one scene for 5 minutes. It didn't really. Scream has always been good at sort of connecting back into the film, and I think this is the weakest. I generally think, now I'm saying it out loud, I think this is the weakest reveal in the franchise, even behind Scream 6.
It's a bit like Friday the 13th 5 with that fella's in the film for about 2 minutes at the very, very start, and he's Yeah. And
the mom, I didn't have a guess. My missus guessed that. Well, she guessed about 4 different killers, but she definitely said to her at one point she's the killer. So I didn't guess that one. even though I only watched the film a couple of hours ago, I still don't quite get what her motive was. Like, what was she talking about? Something about her husband's died and she wanted to be the. I was so confused about what she was talking about, and I was sitting forward like, what is she? So, what is she talking about? So, if you've got more to say, please let me know, because I had no idea what her motive was.
Her motive was because Sydney had killed people to get rid of horrible people in her life. She killed her husband after reading Sydney's book, and that got rid of her people who've made her life miserable, like Sydney. And she became obsessed with Sydney, and Sydney moved away, and then she found out where she lived and moved next door to her, basically.
Right, okay.
But she went to the psychiatric ward for a bit because she killed her husband, and basically, that she got this killing instinct because she killed her husband and turned it into Ghostface. And I think that other guy was just kind of obsessed with her. I don't know. It's kind of like the Charlie Walker thing in Scream 4 where he's just obsessed with Jill, I think.
It was such a shame. It was such a shame, man. But for me personally, it was such a shame because I was like, that's what's bringing the film down for me, is the reveal. And it was the same with Scream 6. Scream 6, I was locked in right until the reveal, and the reveal just deflated the film for me. I anytime Ghostface is on screen, the kills are happening, 10 out of 10, love it. I'm absolutely locked in. But that reveal is such a key component to this franchise that you've got to knock that out of the park. And I just feel like they just didn't with this one. It just felt out of place, and it didn't really, you're not like, they take the mask off, so you're not like, oh, it's, you know what I mean? I was just like, whatever. Do you know what I mean? It was a bit disappointing, man. It really was. Yeah,
you've got to get the opening and the reveal right in these films, haven't you? Go on, Dan.
I was just going to say, Paul, you've got some really good points there. I enjoyed what I was watching, but thinking back with what you've just said, I agree with what you're saying. Yeah, the motive. I get the motive, like nutters. I shouldn't say that word, but like psycho fans can do deranged things. I think that's what they were kind of maybe going for, but yeah, it does let you down now that you've put it into context. It's not that great, is it?
I think it was one of the weakest. I think 6 is the weakest because it just felt like Scooby-Doo, but this is probably the second weakest, I think, to be honest. But we are getting a little bit pushed for time now, guys. So overall, do you want to just give a score on Scream 7? Go ahead. Do you want to go first, Dan?
I'll give it 4 out of 5. Solid
4 out of 5.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that the mother and daughter kind of duo right at the end, they rise up, and it's a bit cringe. Yeah, I did go, oh God, really? Did they say that? But I enjoyed it. It's a solid.
Sydney Prescott's fucking daughter. Open out.
Yeah.
I just remembered that line now. What about you, Tom?
Still same with me. Letterbox, mate. 4 out of 5. Solid film. Loved it.
Yeah. Down. And Paul?
I haven't really done a letterbox review for it yet. I've not had the time this afternoon. If just off the top of my head, I'm pushing between like a 2.5 and a 3, probably a 3 out of 5. I enjoyed it. Solid entry in the franchise. It's probably one of the weaker entries in the franchise for me personally, but like we've said throughout the stream, this is a solid franchise. A weak Scream film is still a good Scream film. And it's going to be one I'll revisit. I like to watch this franchise over and over again, and it's not going to be one that I sort of, there's horror franchises out there where you sort of maybe skip over one because it's really terrible. You haven't got that in Scream. You might not enjoy it. It might not be as good as your favorite, but people saying it's one of the worst films of ever and all this, absolute talking nonsense. Absolute nonsense.
Okay, I would give it 3.5 out of 5. I give it. Potentially might move up a little bit. Well, when I say move up, I mean move up in my ranking. It's somewhere in the middle there, though. I've just put my ranking video up today anyway, if anyone wants to go and check it out. Just before I recorded this video, actually. So I'm just going to do some quick fire questions. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but I'll come to you first, Paul. Do you want to just name maybe your top 3 Ghostface killers, your favorite one-liner or line of dialogue that Ghostface has ever said, or any line of dialogue from this film series, and maybe your favorite Scream moment.
Oh my god! Right, top 3 killers. This I'm not even going to try and think about it. Top 3 killers. Billy Loomis, 100%. Controversial. I like a brother in Scream 3. I think that's a great reveal, and I think that was a great sort of full circle moment for Sidney Prescott's character in that trilogy. And I love Jill from Scream 4. They're probably my 3 favourite. Stu's in there, but Stu sort of with Billy. You know what I mean? They're a dynamic duo, if you like. What was the other question? Yeah, sorry.
Your favorite line of dialogue that anyone said, but or Ghostface. I was leaning more towards Ghostface, but you know, anyone.
One of my favourite lines of recent memory of the recent films is in Scream 6 at the start when he goes, "Who gives a fuck about the movies?" I think that's a great opening to Scream 6. And what was the other one? Sorry.
Your favourite moment in any of these Scream films?
Oh, damn.
Put you on the spot here, haven't I?
Yeah, you really have. Yeah.
It?
Favorite moment in a Scream film? It's got to be that opening to the first film. It just locks you in. Just locks you into that franchise, to that film, to the tone, the meta tone, and all that. It's got to be one of the best openings of any film, not just a horror film. It's got to be one of the best openings to a movie that will lock you in as soon as you've watched the opening in film history for me. That might be a bit over the top, but I do actually believe it is.
No, I agree. What about you, Dan? You want to go with your top 3 killers first?
Yeah, definitely Billy and Stu. And I actually did like, is it Richie's dad and his brother and sister?
Mm-hmm.
I actually did like that those
6.
them as killers. Don't believe the sister, because I don't believe that she could take out Gail Weathers' partner. That was her. You know, she supposedly got him in a headlock and dragged him, you know, don't believe it.
Yeah.
But I did like that reveal, and I did like them as killers, you know, when they took the mask off. Yeah, so that would be mine. I think I've got, what have I got, 5 there? Not 3.
Yeah, you've got 5, but we'll let you have it. What's your favourite ever one-liner that anyone said in this movie? In these movies?
There's just so many. There is just so many. But again, it would be coming back from Scream 1. Stu's line when he's in the kitchen with Billy, and I can't even think now. My mind's gone blank.
Which one is it?
There's so many. It's like when he gets up, he goes, "You ready?" He stabs, and he goes, "I think you stabbed me too deep. I think I'm dying, man."
Yeah, that's it.
The other one, I think it's just that whole sequence of things that he says when he.
Yeah. And your favourite Scream moment out of any of these films?
It's haunting, but it's got to be when Casey's mum hears her on the phone. She's like, "Casey, baby."
Oh dear.
Casey,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
She comes out and she just screams. You just hear that piercing. God, I feel I've got goosebumps. Oh, it proper gets me every time I can watch it. I got a lump in my throat. That is the one of the most.
I'm going, go ahead, and she's nearly crying.
I'm like, oh. Yeah, that's gotta be it. It's the mum. It's just the whole scream, that mother scream.
It's like it's a fun film, but it's also a heartbreaking one with that opening scene, isn't it? The way the mum's, you know, crying for the mum, and then the mum's notices. You're right there, Paul.
So like, I'm like, go ahead, and she's crying. Love it. Great.
All right, then. What about you, Tom? What's your top 3 Ghostface killers?
Obviously Stu, Rich. I do Jill. She's a little shit, isn't she?
Yeah.
She's great. That was then. Was that a cousin?
Isn't that the girl out of Amora?
No, that's
Scream 5. That one.
She was good as well. She was good. Yeah, I'd say Stu, Rich, and Jill.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. What's your favourite ever one-liner, maybe from Ghostface or any other character?
So that's hard as well. I think it's the line with Stu when he says me parents are gonna kill me. That scene
Yeah.
cracked me up.
Sydney, really call the police.
Yeah,
Damn right, I call the police. And then
he said, yeah, that scene there.
Mum
That's
and Dad are gonna be so mad at me.
yeah, that one, I love it. Cracked me up. Yeah, I love it. That one.
What's your favourite ever moment from? Go on, Dan.
Oh no, it's okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, it's all right. Go on. What was you going to say? Oh, you're all right.
No, I was going to say the chemistry between the characters though in that Scream one, Sydney, Tatum, and Stu, it's just great. And when we watched it back, you could see just when they're walking through they leave school and they're going home and it's the curfew and that, and like Tatum's like falling in his arms, kind of just so naturally. It's just great. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Yeah,
No, it's all right.
Yeah,
It's all right.
random.
Hey, interrupting me.
So, what's your favourite ever Scream moment then, Tom?
Scream moments. Probably the open. I'm going to the original again. The opening scene where the mum and dad find her, and it's that camera shot where it hurries over to Drew Barrymore's gutted out body. That's horrifying. It's so good. It's class. I love that bit. Yeah, that's always stuck with me when I was a kid as well. That scene,
And
like
the
cat flap.
Tatum when she gets stuck in the cat
The
flap.
cat flap as well. I love that scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people say that's a stupid character decision, but she's got nowhere else to go, has she? Really?
Yeah.
But yeah,
So
that,
I think she should try and escape out of there myself. Yeah, good answer there, everyone. I'll just quickly go over mine. Best ghost face for me is Stu, Billy, and Jill. I think Jill is great. She's so psychotic. The way she just says, like, I have to kill my mum, but no great loss there. And she's just trying to kill everyone in the hospital. She's just off her head, isn't she?
I love it when
she's
she goes, I like when she goes, I don't need friends, I need fans.
Yeah. I love the way she's throwing herself around the living room as well, just like stabbing herself and everything. Like, I've got two favourite one-liners here. Now, my favourite one-liner is Scream 4, and no one ever really brings it up, where that woman, I think it's Sydney's manager, after she's just fired her, she goes, I'm in what is it? I'm in the hospital, and he goes, and he hears some cars go off, and he goes, doesn't sound like you're in the hospital, sounds like you're in the parking garage. But if you want, I can put you in the hospital, in the fucking morgue.
yeah, that's a good one.
And another one is where it's not even that great of a line, but it's just the way he says it, where Sheriff Judy's trying to get back to her son after he's about to be killed in the shower, and she's racing back in Scream 5, and he just goes, you're not going to make it in time, Sheriff Judy. But my favorite Scream moment is the opening of Scream. I can't really pick any more. It's just the opening. Like Paul said, it's one of the best openings ever, isn't it? And there's so many great moments in that one scene as well. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go with that. But I think that's it, guys. I think we'll just end it here. I promise my wife will be here now. We've got an hour and 20 minutes. She's down the stairs with the kids and everything, so I'll have to get off in a minute. But I just want to say thanks so much for coming on. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll leave.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I'll leave the channel link to Tony and Danielle down below. And Paul, thanks again for coming on, mate. If you want me to leave your channel link, I will, but you're not really doing it no more, are you?
No, maybe my Instagram.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'll leave
But yeah.
Paul's Instagram down below anyway.
Yeah, but I appreciate it, man. Like, I always love talking horror with you, and it's been nice catching up with Tony and Danielle.
Yeah.
This has been a really good topic to talk about.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll probably try and put this up tomorrow. If not, it'll be Tuesday, and I'll let you know when it's up. Okay. So, thanks everyone for tuning in. I hope you all enjoyed this discussion. Bit of a podcast episode, really, isn't it? But please give the video a like, subscribe to this channel for horror sort of thing. I'll try and get these guys back on for something else if they're up for it another time. So, thank you so much, everyone. Take care. I'll see you all later.
Take it all easy, guys.
What was that?
Don't say that. You'll see her all later. You get killed.
I'll be right back.
Ooh.
See you later, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.